Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakadash, and double honors and respect to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth, as well as much respect and honors to the brothers that are pushing this truth in sincerity across the four winds of this earth and risking their lives and freedom to do so. I would also like to give much honors and respect to the brothers and sisters that are of the hopeful elect, that are doing their very best to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High to the best of their abilities. Shalom. You see this photo right here that I have. This actually, I actually took this photo yesterday while I was filling up. This was actually at a Safeway, which is not too far from where I live. Now here it is, in this particular photo, you see that this gas station, this Safeway gas station, they're out of diesel. Okay, and here it is. There's been reports, a few shortages that are happening in various parts of Babylon the Great, to where you're having gas stations that are running out of fuel and whatnot. Okay, and so with that being said, expect to see more of these things right here happening, to where you're having gas stations that are running out of fuel. And see, here it is, right here at this particular gas station, the gas is actually going down maybe a couple of cents or so. But with that being said, expect it to go back up, okay? Because this place, it's not going to get any better, okay? Just because it's going down a couple of cents, don't let that fool you into thinking that things are getting ready to go back to normal, because this place is not going to go back to normal. This place is just going to continue to wax worse and worse. And again, here it is. There's already reports of fuel shortages that are happening in various parts of Babylon the Great. And with that being said, more fuel shortages are coming. But, with the fuel shortages, okay, this right here is going to affect a lot of things. Okay, this is going to, and it's actually already beginning to happen right now. Okay, it's affecting people's means of travel and whatnot. Okay, because here it is, with the fuel, prices going up. Okay, a lot of people are having to restrict their travel. I was even watching some videos to where you're having jobs and whatnot. They're allowing people to work from home, due to the price of fuel going up, as well as fuel shortages. Okay. Also, too, as I was saying, that this fuel shortage and the price of fuel going up, it's going to affect people's travel. Here it is. A lot of these airlines, what they're doing is now they're canceling a lot of flights, okay, due to fuel shortages, due to the price of fuel going up. And so a lot of flights are being canceled. And so people's means of travel is being affected as a result, okay, of this fuel shortages, as a result of this situation, which is resulting from this situation that's happening over there between Iran, in the US, okay. Also, too, with the price of fuel going up, and then also with fuel shortages, this is going to affect the trucking industry. It's already affecting the trucking industry as we speak. And so with the trucking industry being affected, it's going to also affect your local grocery stores. It's going to also affect other stores that sell goods and supplies and whatnot. Expect to see shortages. And again, shortages are already beginning to happen right now, but expect to see more of these things. Okay. And so this place, this right here, it just shows you that, this place is just going to continue to wax worse and worse. It's not going to get any better over here. And, this is why we stress repentance, Israel. And when I say Israel, I'm talking about you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and those that are other speckled bird that look like these other nations, which you go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob on your father's side. Again, with these fuel shortages, okay, that's going to affect a lot of things. Okay, you're going to see empty shelves on your grocery stores. Okay, you're going to see empty shelves in your parts, stores, your auto parts stores. You're going to see empty shelves, okay, in other stores, okay, that sell goods and supplies and whatnot. Okay, also too, it's going to restrict people's means of travel, which is already beginning to happen. Okay, this place is just going to continue to wax worse and worse. And as I had mentioned, empty shelves in your grocery stores, okay, food shortages. And so, again, this is why we stress repentance. This is why you have to get right with the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai, because the Lord is going to ensure that his elect have everything they need to survive. The Lord is going to protect the elect, man, lady, and children. Okay? And Lord willing, we are that elect number. But I was, as I had mentioned, I was getting some gas yesterday, and I had saw this while I was getting some gas, and so I just thought I would take a photo of it and bring out a quick lesson, because this is going to, with these fuel shortages and the price of fuel going up and everything like that, that's going to cause a lot of effects. Okay, a lot of people will be affected by this. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to bring out a couple of scriptures. The first scripture I actually want to go to is in the book of, bear with me. I want to go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, but I want to start in verse 14. And it reads, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." Okay, and see, woe means destruction. And destruction is, coming to this current system of Esau's. Okay, Esau's kingdom is literally falling right before our eyes, and it's going to fall very soon, Lord willing. And, with that being said, those by people who don't want to, come up out of the ways of Babylon the Great, those by people who don't want to, return to the Father and the Son, it's not going to end well for them. They're going to fall, okay, over here in Babylon the Great, right along, with these Edomites and the rest of these heathens. But again, this current system of Esau's, okay, is failing. It's falling right before our eyes, and it's going to fall very soon, okay? America, also known as Babylon the Great, okay, it's going to fall, okay? America right now is divided, okay? Here it is. You have the left against the right, okay, over here in America, okay? You got Edomite against Edomite. You got Jake against Jake. You got Jake against Edomite, okay? And so, America is divided, and the kingdom divided, cannot stand. Also, too, over here in Babylon the Great, there's talks of, people coming together, to try to overthrow the government. Okay, there's also talks that there's sleeper cells over here in Babylon the Great, that can be activated at any given moment. Okay, here it is. You got people over here in Babylon the Great, they're on edge. Okay, people are very, people are crashing out and whatnot. Okay, people are on edge, due to the price of everything, going up. You got the price of gas going up, the price of food going up. Just the price of living, in general is going up. Okay, and so people are, losing their homes, people are losing their apartments, people are losing their vehicles. Okay, you got people that are living on the street, people are struggling to try to put food on the table, and so people are on the edge and people are crashing out. Okay, also too, over here, as I had mentioned, there's a shortage of gas. Okay, because here it is, in various parts of Babylon the Great, there's gas stations that are running out of gas. Okay, also too, goods and supplies. Okay, that's going to with these, with the shortage of fuel, that's going to affect goods and supplies in these different stores and whatnot. It's also going to create food shortages. Okay, and these things are actually beginning to happen right now over here in Babylon the Great. And with that being said, more of these things are coming, because this place is just going to continue to wax worse and worse. Okay, but again, you're having tension that's building up over here. Okay, in Babylon the Great. Okay. Here it is. There's talks of civil unrest, okay, that can spark at any given moment over here in Babylon the Great. Okay. And see, here it is, speaking of civil unrest, there's already been civil unrest that's been happening in various parts of Babylon the Great. But, these things are just going to continue to build up. Jacob's trouble is here. This place is just going to continue to wax worse and worse. And again, those by people who are not seeking the Lord, they're going to get caught into the civil unrest. They're going to get caught into the race riots. They're going to get caught into the famines, the pestilences. Okay, they're going to get caught into some type of freak accident. Okay, they're going to fall over here in Babylon the Great. The 2/3 by people, they're going to fall over here in Babylon the Great, right along with these Edomites and the rest of these heathens. Okay, this place is just going to continue to wax worse and worse. But this current system of Esau's is getting ready to pass away. We're literally witnessing the downfall of Esau, Edom's kingdom. Okay, and with that being said, Babylon the Great, again, this place is on life support, and that plug is soon about to be pulled. And this is why you have to come up out of this place spiritually, Israel, and return to the Father and the Son, because the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Shai is going to protect the elect, man, lady, and children. Let's get the next verse. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15. This is verse 15. It reads, "For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand." Okay, and see, the modern day sword is the gun, which is a killing instrument. And you're already having tensions, okay, that's building up over here in Babylon the Great. You got racial tension that's building up over here in Babylon the Great. Okay, you got people that they're upset, okay, about with this current administration, because they don't like how this current administration is running things. Okay, people are upset with DJ Donald Duck, okay, because people are they don't like how he's running, okay, this place. He's, pretty much literally running this place into the ground, and you got a lot of these people that are upset about that, okay? But, tension is building up over here in Babylon the Great. Civil unrest, race riots, okay, will be coming to a city near you, okay? And see, here it is, as I had mentioned, you're already having people that are beginning to crash out, okay, over here in Babylon the Great, due to, the price of everything going up, okay? Everything is becoming inflated. Okay, you got unemployment rate is on the rise over here. Also, too, okay, we're beginning to see, a shortage of fuel, which is going to lead to a shortage of goods and supplies over here. It's going to also lead to a shortage of food. Okay, Jacob's trouble is here. Okay, and see, hell is beginning to break loose over here in Babylon the Great, and very soon all hell is going to be breaking loose over here in Babylon the Great. And with that being said, this is what these devils want, okay? They want hell to break loose over here, problem, action, solution, okay? Here it is, these devils, they'll show you in movies, such as, I want to say there was a movie that came out either last year or a year before. I think it was called Leave This World Behind in Civil War. Okay, these devils, what they do is they create the problem, okay? Get the people's reaction, okay? And then here it is, these devils, they try to act like they're the good guys and they bring the solution. But, speaking of the solution, these devils' ultimate solution, okay, it's going to be that MO to the T to the B, the mandating of that MO to the T to the B. These devils, what they want to do is they want to do away with this current monetary system, okay, and make everything go digital, okay, which is going to be backed by that MO to the T to the B. And speaking of that MO to the T to the B, it's already here. You got people walking around with it. But that's these devils' ultimate solution. All roads lead to the MO to the T to the B, okay? And with that being said, is if you get that MO to the T to the B, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is going to destroy you, okay? But again, that's these devil solution. They want to make everyone a permanent slave to the NWO, okay? Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 16, it says, "But there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Okay, and see, again, civil unrest is coming to Babylon the Great. Okay, people are going to, start taking matters into their own hand. Okay, and very soon there's going to be no more law and order, no more listening to the police. Okay, no more listening to the president, these government officials. Chaos is going to be breaking loose over here in Babylon the Great very soon. Okay, expect these things to happen in a city near you, okay, to where you're having chaos and all hell breaking loose over here. This place, as I was saying, it's not going to get any better. Just because you may see, the gas may go down a couple of cents or so, that doesn't mean that things are going to get better over here, okay? This place is on its way out. This place is just going to continue to wax worse and worse. And, and what's, and as I had mentioned, you're going to have, hell, and chaos breaking loose, in a city near you. Okay, you're going to be having people, taking and raiding. Okay, especially when there's no food in the refrigerators. Okay, and their stomachs start touching their backs and whatnot, because, famine is coming to Babylon the Great. And these devils, they're trying to engineer famine. Okay, that's what they're trying to engineer. Because again, all roads lead to the MO to the T to the B. Okay, these devils, they want to make everybody desperate, okay, and vulnerable, and they want everybody to come running to them looking for a solution. But again, that ultimate solution that these devils are going to bring is going to be that MO to the T to the B. And that solution is not going to benefit you. It's going to only get you destroyed if you allow these devils to violate you with that MO to the T to the B. Okay, let's read this again. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 16 again. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Again, you're already having hell that's beginning to break loose over here in Babylon the Great, and very soon all hell is going to be breaking loose over here in Babylon the Great. Okay? And see, and as I had mentioned, these devils, they want to engineer food shortage. They want food shortages to happen. And see, here it is. There's already reports of various of a shortage of various foods and whatnot that are happening right now in various parts of Babylon the Great. There's already reports of food shortages that are happening in various parts of Babylon the Great. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, but more of these things are coming. Okay, and And see, here it is. I mean, with the fuel prices, on the rise and fuel shortages and whatnot, that's going to contribute to food shortages. That's going to contribute to famine. Okay. Also, too, here it is. I mean, we've been hearing about different food processing plants and things like that, farms, cattle farms, chicken farms, and things like that catching on fire and whatnot. Okay. Again, that's what these devils want. But very soon, all hell is going to be breaking loose over here in Babylon the Great. Okay, you're going to be having people looting and rioting and taking. People are not going to be, listening to the police. People are not going to be, listening to the government officials. People are going to be taking matters into their own hand. Okay. So, this is why you have to get right with the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So this is why you have to repent, because again, the Lord is going to protect his elect. But those by people who are not seeking the Lord, it's not going to end well for them. They're going to get caught into this, to the chaos. They're going to get caught into the evils and the calamities that are coming. Okay. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 17. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Okay. And see, this is actually, beginning to happen right now, due to fuel shortages, the price of fuel going up and whatnot. And see, here it is, as I had mentioned earlier. You're having a lot of planes, that are being grounded. You're having a lot of flights that are being canceled, due to fuel shortages. And so people who are desiring to want to go into another city or another state or another country, that's being altered, due to fuel shortages, And also too, here it is, with the price of fuel going up and fuel shortages, people are, it's restricting people's means of travel even by car, So people's, means of travel either by car or, by plane, to enter into another city or another state or, even another country, has been interrupted, due to fuel shortages. Okay. And this is just going to increase. It's not going to get any better over here. And see, here it is, there's also still a partial government shutdown, which, is affecting air travel as well. Okay. Because here it is, you're having, many of these air traffic controllers, as well as TSA workers, they're not getting paid. And so a lot of them have quit. Okay. A lot of them are not showing up for work. Okay. And so as a result, there's a shortage of people, at these different airports and whatnot. And so flights are being canceled, as a result of that too. Okay. Here it is with the, with the partial government shutdown and then the shortage of fuel that's affecting, these airlines. Okay. And, what's ultimately happened is, it's the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, plaguing Babylon the Great. And the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is sending plagues upon Babylon the Great, to bring down this wicked kingdom of Esau's, as well as to punish those that are being wicked. Okay. So, if you're going to fear someone, you fear the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Okay. Because, those who fear the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, they're going to have that hedge of protection over them. And I'm talking about the elect. And again, Lord willing, we are that elect number. Okay, this is 2 Ezra chapter 15, this is verse 18. And it reads, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Okay, and see, here it is, Esau, along with the 2/3 of our people, and the rest of these heathens, they have, all walked in great pride, but here it is, in these days, that we're coming into, these days that we're approaching, that prideful spirit, is going to go out of the window. Okay. And fear is going to come upon, all of them, because, they're going to get caught into the calamities. They're going to get caught into the troubles that's coming to this place. Again, America is circling the toilet and it's not going to recover. Okay. And see, again, Jacob's trouble is here. And when Jacob's trouble comes into full effect, that's going to lead to cities being troubled. Okay. That's going to lead to houses being destroyed. Okay. Because people are going to be taking and looting and taking from one another and whatnot, invading other people's homes and whatnot. Okay. And, men are going to be afraid because of all the chaos and the calamities that's going to come with Jacob's trouble. Cities are going to be burning. Okay. And as I had mentioned, people's homes are going to be invaded. Okay. Due to shortages of goods and supplies and food and whatnot. Okay. Disaster is coming to America. And, these Edomites, along with the rest of these heathens, and the 2/3 of our people, they're going to get caught into that disaster. Okay. But again, the Lord is going to protect the elect. And Lord willing, we are that elect number. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay, and so with that being said, friends are going to become enemies, neighbors are going to become enemies, and you're going to be having neighbors taken from one another, due to the lack of food. Okay. Again, this place is just circling the toilet, and it's just, and chaos is coming to this place. Okay. And here it is. I mean, with the price of fuel going up. Okay. And then you got, these devils, they're setting on fire all these different, food processing plants and things like that. Famine is coming to Babylon the Great. Okay. Famine is coming to Babylon the Great. More inflation is coming to Babylon the Great. This place is not going to get any better. So, now is the time to seek the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahweh. Okay. Now is the time to get right with the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahweh, so that you and yours can have that hedge of protection over you. Okay. Okay, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 6, and this is verse 22. And it reads, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the 4 storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Okay, and see, this is what's coming to Babylon the Great. And it's already happening, but expect to see more empty shelves. Okay, especially with the fuel shortages and the price of fuel going up, because this right here is going to affect the trucking industry. Okay, and so here it is. A lot of your grocery stores, a lot of your parts stores, they're going to have empty shelves. Due to these truckers not being able to run and whatnot. Okay, but and see, and with that being said, with everything, the price of everything going up, here it is. You got, businesses, that are closing down and shutting their doors and whatnot. Okay, here it is. I mean, over the past few years, we've been hearing about businesses, downsizing, and closing their doors and whatnot. Expect to see more of these things coming, because this place is just circling the toilet. And so more sown places are going to suddenly appear unsown. Okay, more shortages of goods and supplies and food. Okay, it's going to come to a city near you. Okay. Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 22 again, it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The 4 storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Okay, and see also, with the shortages is going to come, inflated prices, due to demand. Okay. And, this right here is going to lead to more crime, more violence, more theft, because, people are going to try to get it however they can get it, even if that means, taking from the next person, even if that means stealing and whatnot. And see, this is actually already beginning to happen. This is happening, but it's just going to increase. People are getting bold too now. People are just walking in the stores and whatnot and just taking whatever they want to take and walking out of there with it. They don't care who sees them. But, it's going to come. You're going to have, to where people are going to be taken from the next person. I mean, and again, as I was saying, this is actually already beginning to happen, but it's just going to increase, especially when people's stomachs start touching their backs and whatnot. And so, and again, those by people who are not seeking the Lord, it's not going to end well for them. They're going to be in a bad case. So, now is the time to get right with the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahweh. And I want to end off in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 2, and this is verse 10. And it reads, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? Okay, and see again, the Lord is going to take care of the elect, man, lady, and children. The Lord has never despised or forsaken any of his men. Okay, and the Lord is going to do the same for his elect. Okay. And so, with that being said, now is the time to get it right with the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahweh, so that you can be of the elect. Because again, the Lord is going to ensure that his elect have everything they need to survive. And Lord willing, we of that elect number. And so, I'm going to go ahead and end off here. I hope it was edifying. Once again, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and double honors and respect to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Kwam Yasharala and Abba Shalom.